Marvel fans will be treated to a delight as one of comic books' greatest characters, Moon Knight, will be going live on screen. The series will be the latest television installment in the Marvel Cinematic world. Moon Knight is the 19th television series in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and the 10th installment of Phase 4. Expected to premiere in 2022, the series will be telling the story of Stephen Grant, a mellow gift shop employee who becomes afflicted with blackouts and memories of a second life. Stephen found out he has dissociative identity disorder and shares a body with mercenary Marc Spector. As their enemies converge upon them, the duo who shares bodies navigate their multiplex identities while thrown into a deadly mystery among the powerful gods of Egypt. With so much being said in the media about the upcoming series, little remains unknown about the origin of the character. Sit still and watch us dive right in and get to discover the origin of the character and what makes it so special and worthy of a TV show. But first, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any new videos. Marc Spector was born in Chicago, America. The child of a rabbi who, growing up, escaped Nazi prosecution after Hitler's invasion of Czechoslovakia. Marc grew up in the ghetto part of Chicago, where his father Elias suffered discrimination. Marc could never fathom why his father would never fight his oppressors. In the last years of his childhood, Marc finds out by chance that a friend of his family, Rabbi Yitz Perlman, was in fact a Nazi deserter who secretly worked as a serial killer of Jews named Ernst. Marc's fighting capability showed for the first time when he took on Perlman to escape his grasp. Perlman would later disappear without a trace. This traumatic event caused Marc to develop a dissociative identity disorder. His two alter egos were Stephen Grant and Jake Lockley, and shortly before, Elias made the decision to intern Marc at the Putnam Psychiatric Hospital, where he was approached by the Egyptian deity Khonshu, who claimed to be Marc's true progenitor. After his father kicked the bucket, Marc was allowed to leave the hospital for a short while to attend the funeral. But, on hearing Khonshu's voice, he ran away. Marc joined the Marines for 3 years. On his second tour in Iraq, his superiors got wind of Marc's rather strange behavior. After stories from his past came to life, Marc was dishonorably discharged. Leaving the Marines, he joined the CIA, working with several people who would later partner with Moon Knight, including William Cross, Amos Lardner, and Randall Spector, his own brother. Randall murdered Spector's girlfriend Lisa to stop her from revealing a gun-running scheme. Spector avenged her by hitting his brother with a grenade and assumed the explosion killed him, ending him for good. He didn't stay with the CIA long. Marc Spector later enrolled in illegal fights, where he made friends with Frenchie Duchamp, and the pair became soldiers for hire. Marc and Frenchie took several assignments, especially in Africa and South America. Spector later went to trial for assassinating a South American president. Later on, after Marc and Frenchie met with Raoul Bushman in Egypt, they took a trip to North Sudan for a raid on an archaeological site. When Bushman murders the lead archaeologist Peter Alren, all in the bid to find an Egyptian pharaoh's tomb, Spector attacks him to protect Alren's daughter Marlene, preventing her from meeting the same fate. Furious, Bushman kills everyone in place except for Marlene, Frenchie, and a villager who agrees to tell him the secrets of the tomb. Spector gets to reach the tomb before he collapses. Marlene and the crew put him beneath an idol of Khonshu. His spirit encounters Khonshu, who makes a deal to save his life in exchange for his service. Spector agrees to this, although he later considered this encounter a hallucination. Back to life, he takes out Bushman's men while Bushman escaped. Having found a new role in life, Spector applies himself fully. He switches base to New York with Frenchie and Marlene, his newfound love, and develops the costume, equipment, and persona of Moon Knight. When asked why he wore white and silver while operating at night, Moon Knight replies that he is meant to be a light in the darkness, and that he and his divine protector Khonshu want their enemies to know he is coming. With a sizable amount of money made from gambling, in addition to supporting his new career in crime fighting, he assigned new roles to his multiple personalities. Marc began using his Stephen Grant persona as a financier, and Jake Lockley as a cab driver, whose job was to gather information at street level. Still, operating 4 lives puts mental stress on Spector. Lockley, the cab driver, developed a chain of informants, including the homeless Bertrand Crawley. diner owner Gina Landers, and her 2 sons. It is later revealed Moon Knight suffers dissociative identity disorder, something that is wrongly referred to as schizophrenia in some stories, and that the alter egos known as Grant and Lockley had earlier manifested during his childhood. Spector's mental disorder has been a subject of debate, with some suggesting it is due to childhood trauma, and others saying it is a result of brain damage caused a psychic connection shared with. Khonshu later claims he created a psychic connection with Moon Knight when the latter was a young boy, decades before he was ready to be fully recruited as his avatar on Earth. In most of his stories, Moon Knight does not have supernatural abilities beyond occasional visions of mystical insight. He relies only on his athletic ability, intelligence, and expert combat skills. Since Marc became Moon Knight, there have been instances where the character dies only to be resurrected by Khonshu, although the number of times he may be resurrected is unknown. For a time, Moon Knight's resiliency to injury could reach superhuman levels depending on the phases of the moon, but this ability later disappeared. Moon Knight is a highly trained athlete and a skilled acrobat who succeeds at combat strategy. He is also an expert driver who can pilot a helicopter. These skills owe largely to his life training and experience as a US Marine, boxer, and mercenary, where Marc Spector became a specialist at hand-to-hand combat, weapons, kung fu, ninjutsu, and Muay Thai. Moon Knight's fighting style is a combination of various combat techniques and depends heavily on adaptability, using the surroundings to his advantage, terrifying his opponents, and owning a certain level of pain and injury. The villain Taskmaster, who can duplicate fighting styles, once confessed that he prefers not to copy Moon Knight since the hero can take a punch. Moon Knight possesses a very high tolerance for pain and torture. As Moon Knight, Spector adorns a lightweight Kevlar body armor and a uniquely constructed silver glider cape that can catch winds and thermal updrafts. He also wears metal bracers on his wrists and calves. In the future, the costumes have been upgraded with metal plates, providing extra protection to his chest and shoulders. Moon Knight has employed different weapons in his crime-fighting career, many of them crafted from silver. Sometimes a new villain might require special treatment. Moon Knight once accepted golden and ivory Egyptian-themed weapons created by followers of Khonshu. In one period while suffering from health issues, he wears thin, lightweight adamantium armor for protection. Also during this time, he gets himself an adamantium staff, a truncheon capable of firing a cable line, and gauntlets that fire crescent darts. As we have pointed out before, Marc Spector has died multiple times, only to be resurrected by Khonshu. What we are not sure of is if Khonshu will continually do this, making Marc Spector immortal, or continue until he chooses a new successor. Due to how his brain has been altered by Khonshu, Marc Spector is more resistant to psychic attack than the average human being. He is even blessed with the visions of prophecy. Some fans initially believed that these visions were inspired simply by Spector inadvertently performing self-hypnosis, but they later discovered that Khonshu is real and grants him these visions. It has been somewhat implied in some stories that Marc's connection to Khonshu and his supernatural insight increases when he puts on his Moon Knight costume, as it represents the vestments of the Moon God. So what did you think about the origin of Moon Knight? Were you surprised to find out a Marvel hero struggling with mental health? And what do you think about his telepathic abilities? If you like this origin story, please don't forget to subscribe, ring the bell, and like the video, because there's lots more coming. Thanks, and see you again soon.